When 20-somethings discuss their careers today, the word burnout is a central part of the conversation. They are 2 or 3 years into the workforce.
Every day, you make decisions: what to buy, who to trust, what to believe. But here's the real question: are those decisions really yours, or are they designed? This channel breaks down the psychology behind everything. I'm Shrest, and this is where we decode the world.
When 20-somethings discuss their careers today, the word burnout is a central part of the conversation. They are 2 or 3 years into the workforce, yet they describe a level of exhaustion usually reserved for midlife. Older managers frequently view this with skepticism. The prevailing internal monologue is simple: "We were your age once. We didn't have burnout. We just worked." In their experience, it took 20 years to reach this level of mental drain. This creates a specific dilemma. We have to determine if an entire generation is uniquely fragile, or if they have entered a modern workforce that is objectively more demanding than the one their parents knew. Labeling a generation as lazy serves a specific purpose. It frames burnout as a personal failing, rather than a consequence of the current work culture. Clinical burnout is distinct from simple exhaustion or working long hours. It is the result of a sustained conflict between a worker's expectations and the actual demands of their job. This graph maps that conflict. It visualizes the growing gap between the story people were told about how work works and the reality they are currently living. Previous generations experienced a slow divergence. They spent decades believing the system rewarded effort, with the expectation gap only becoming significant around age 42. Gen Z walked into this gap on their first day. Because the promise of economic stability was broken before they started, the divergence between what they put in and what they get back is immediate. This means modern burnout has shifted from a midlife crisis to an entry-level feature of the modern economy. Young workers generally followed the traditional rules. They secured the degrees and internships they were told would lead to security, only to find that the economic rewards for that effort have evaporated. In 1985, a home cost 3.5 times the median income. Today, that ratio scales dramatically to 12. Simultaneously, entry points are shrinking. This descending line shows a 29% drop in entry-level job postings, while the average new hire age is now 42. Roughly 48% of Gen Z workers maintain a side hustle. They are working multiple jobs because a single income has lost the purchasing power it held for previous generations. Beyond the economic pressure, there is the psychological weight of entering a workforce where the leadership already views you as a liability. Research indicates that 70% of managers preemptively categorize Gen Z hires as difficult or entitled before they have missed a deadline. They are judged before they have the chance to perform. One 26-year-old department head routinely answers emails at 2 a.m., terrified that taking a single break will confirm he hasn't earned his position. This creates a trap where young employees feel forced to overwork simply to disprove a systemic bias. They are effectively cast as the villain for trying to navigate a hostile environment. Previous generations had a physical off switch. Work stayed on the desk when they left the office, providing a natural boundary for rest. Modern technology has eliminated that boundary. The same device used for personal connection is constantly pinging with emails and urgent questions for management. Because of the pressure to disprove negative stereotypes, many young workers respond to these messages instantly. To them, disconnecting feels like a career risk, creating a culture where off no longer exists. When work follows an employee into every private space, the demands become unrelenting. Work simply bleeds into every waking hour. Companies have responded to this crisis by spending $95 billion annually on wellness theater, meditation apps, mental health webinars, and in-house therapists. This scatter plot visualizes data from a Harvard study of 46,000 workers. It shows a flat line of correlation between these wellness interventions and actual employee well-being. The programs have no measurable impact. Offering a meditation app to an employee crushed by economic instability and constant digital pings is like handing a swimming manual to someone who is currently drowning. Wellness programs often fail because they focus on helping individuals tolerate toxic conditions rather than changing the conditions themselves. Real solutions require companies to close the expectation gap with honesty about career paths. It also requires training leaders to judge employees on their actual output rather than generational headlines. Despite the economic odds and the weight of bias, young people are still showing up. They are working multiple jobs and staying logged on specifically to prove they aren't the stereotype. Companies that ignore this cycle of early career exhaustion risk a total depletion of their talent pool. If the work environment doesn't change, the workforce will eventually reach a point where there are no healthy employees left to hire.
About power, identity, and how situations shape who we are. Subscribe.